What's going on, everybody? This is Harrison Brown-Russo from TotalSportsLive.com. I'm here with 2022 NFL Draft prospect Kailon Davis from Arkansas Pine Bluff. You might remember him from Last Chance U. Had some time at Arkansas State as well. Very good defensive end. Some of you guys are definitely going to keep your eye on. KD, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming on the pod.
Yes, sir. Appreciate the opportunity for the interview.
No doubt, man. You know, we're all looking forward to this interview. Everybody here at TSL. One of the things that you did yesterday, man, you had your pro day down at Arkansas State. I'm sure that's somewhere you saw some familiar faces, some people you had known from your time there. We were just talking about it beforehand, ran a 4.49 in the 40 at about 6'3", 255, defensive end, edge rusher. Let's start there, man. How was your pro day yesterday at Arkansas State? Was it good to be back there, and just that experience overall? How was it?
The experience overall, it was just a blessing to get the opportunity to come back to the school where it all started at, to get my name out there and be around all the brothers that I started it with to end it with. So having the opportunity to go back there and, do some things and play the game that I love with the brothers, that I met when I first got there, it was just a good opportunity to have.
Yeah, man, that seems like it would be a real cool experience. You guys kind of get to go through that process together. It's people you already know. I know sometimes guys go to pro days at a different school. They don't really know anybody. It's a whole experience, which, I mean, hey, that's cool in its own right? You get to meet new people before you go to the pros, but that had to be real cool for you, seeing some guys you know. This offseason in general, what's kind of your focus been like? What have you been training for, preparing for? What's kind of your mindset been like this offseason?
My focus on this offseason, just a go-get-it, like a go-get-it moment, like just being relentless and just staying down till I come up, keeping my head down, being focused, trying to take everything that everybody said I couldn't get and just grinding, doing more grinding than I ever did before, and just recovery, studying film, getting faster, stronger. Like, I'm just ready, just waiting on that phone call.
You been training with anyone in particular this offseason?
No, so I really just been training by myself for Mr. Dave. He been training me, helping me, Dave and Rip, helping me stay focused on my body, like get me faster, stronger, and everything. So that's about it. But I was training with William Bradley King that played for the Washington Redskins.
Okay.
And yes, sir. And some two other players, KT and Raheem Bigham, they used to go to Arkansas State, and Bone, they used to go to Arkansas State. So I surround myself with people that, that's great and just love being worked.
Hey, man, that's what you got to do. And another time when you were surrounding yourself with great people with some of these all-star games this winter, playing down in the HBCU Legacy Bowl, playing in the Tropical Bowl. What have those experiences been like? Let's start with the HBCU Legacy Bowl. I know that's something that me and Jovan have both been talking about a lot this offseason. I think it was supposed to start a few years ago, but then COVID had stopped it. So this was the inaugural year. What was that experience like for you? Obviously, you're a New Orleans guy, so you're playing at home as well. Just what was that whole experience like for you?
Man, that experience was crazy. I'm going to be real with you. It was just a blessing to go back home. I ain't been home since another hurricane that hit the crib, so because I've been focusing. But getting invited to that, it was just crazy. Like, I wasn't even expecting it for it to be that big, but it had so many legends that was there. And then me being named defensive MVP of the week, and I was named team captain for the coin toss to meet Patrick Mahomes. So just having that experience to showcase my talent at the Legacy Bowl, it was just crazy. And I was just blessed to be there.
I saw you were a captain, man. That was great to see. Also a starter as well at that defensive end position. Played real well in the game, played real well in practice as well. These draft bowls, it's become real cool. We get a lot of film from practice as well. Shout out to our guy, Emery Hunt from Football Game Plan. You might have had the opportunity to meet him. Big fan of his work. He had some of the film out, so was looking at you in some of those drills. And then also saw that y'all went over to the New Orleans Saints practice facility, a real nice indoor facility. What was that like crazy for you? Because I know you're a Saints fan growing up, a big Cameron Jordan guy. What was that whole experience like for you?
Man, it was crazy. It was a blessing. I ain't been there since, that's when LSU had held like a camp there. I ain't been there since 12th, 11th grade. So being there and then growing up and being there, I could really play in the NFL was crazy. And then when they had some Saints scouts came over there to talk to me and saying, "You from New Orleans, right?" And he said, "How I feel if you come back home and play for the Saints?" So just being in there and experiencing all that, it was just a blessing. I couldn't even explain how I felt in that moment. I was blushing hard.
That's great to hear, man. And, you know, that's something we had Kyler Bynum on the other week, and that's something he was mentioning. The Steelers liked him. He's from out in that Pennsylvania area. I think teams really like that when they can bring in a local guy. It's kind of a little bit of extra motivation for everyone involved to try to make it work. But that facility is real nice. I'm a big arena football guy, and the Philadelphia Souls, the local team here, when they had went down to New Orleans, they trained in that facility and they put out some pictures and stuff. And that facility had always caught my eye. And I saw the Saints had tweeted out a picture of you in there. I think like running through warmups or something. So yeah, big fan of that facility. But let's take it a little bit broader here, man. Just your college experience as a whole. I mean, a lot has happened in that time. You start out, I see you laughing right now. You know how it is. You know, you start out with the Juco route. That's an experience in and of itself. I got a lot of friends, former teammates of mine that have went Juco, went D1 from there. But Juco, it's a different world. You know, it's not D1, it's not D2. It's a whole different world. So that's an experience in and of itself. And then your second year at Juco, a worldwide Netflix show comes in, has cameras on you every day. You become, I mean, I don't want to say a celebrity, but a celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, obviously you're a football player, but like that show is bigger than football. Like people that aren't football fans know who you are from that show. And then you get 25 D1 offers leaving Indy. You know what I mean? The whole college football landscape is looking at you. You go to Arkansas State, you do some real good things there. You have a serious heart condition where you have to reevaluate your goals, take some time off of football. Then you enter the transfer portal, you come back, you go to Arkansas Pine Bluff, you have more success there. COVID's in the middle of that somewhere. Like a lot has happened in your college football career. I mean, that's a lot that I just threw at you right there. But broadly, what are some life lessons that you're going to take from college football? What are some things that you learned from this experience?
That I really love adversity, and I embrace it. Like, going through that whole thing, I was really, because I'm a gospel person. I always put God worry and call God in everything I do. So going through all that, I was kind of questioning God, like, you feel me? You got me working. I'm working real hard for something I love and something I really put blood, sweat, and tears in, and it's being taken away from me. So going through that and then them telling me I can't play football no more, man, it just broke my heart. Like, they telling me I can't play football no more, and then I just lost my grandma like right then and there. So, and then after that, I was just a regular person. I started working at academy. I never had a job in my life. I started working at academy. I was down every day. I was stressed and I was doing all this. I was lost. But then I told myself, I was like, remember, I love adversity. I had to remind myself I embrace and all this. I love adversity. I embrace and all this. So one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to run. I'm going to try to do some exercises, probably like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, okay, I'm feeling good. So I hit up Eric. I hit the train up. I'm like, come on, let's go do some heart checkups. I go do heart checkups and do all this. I get a call like a month later. Just like, come in, we got to tell you something. Came in, legs shaking, I'm nervous. They're like, man, we got good news for you. Your heart looked great. It looked like nothing never happened to it. So I got cleared. I'm like, okay, let me try to go hit the portal. I hit the portal. The next thing you know, it started blowing up all over again. So and what made me go to Pine Bluff, it was just like, I felt like I was getting too comfortable at Arkansas State. I felt like everything was given to me. I had nice equipment, nice cleats. I got whatever I wanted. And then you go to Pine Bluff, it's like a struggle. And that's why I started from growing up and went to JUCO. So I went back there and I found myself and I found out who I was. Here I am today.
Here you are today, getting ready for the NFL draft, getting ready for your professional career. But that time off, I mentioned to you earlier, I'm a big arena guy. Sometimes arena guys will take time off. They'll take a year off, a year or two off. It kind of gives people a little bit of a fresh perspective, though, sometimes. So I'm just wondering, did you learn anything about yourself during that time off the field as a football player? And then also, how much time in total would you say you were away from the game of football, do you think it was?
Felt like about 4 months.
Okay.
And what I found out about myself is I really don't like making excuses for myself. And I love adversity and I embrace it and everything. And I noticed, like, when I go through hard times, I don't blame nobody. I don't even blame myself. I tell myself that things happen in life. You got to get back up. Because if you fall down and stay down, that's where you're going to be at. And then you can't blame nobody but yourself. So I found out that I'm really God blessed me with just being a warrior and just don't take nothing for granted. And every opportunity I get, just take advantage of it. So I just found out I'm really a strong person.
One opportunity that I don't even think taking advantage of it is a good way to describe it, but just very naturally, you became a fan favorite on Last Chance U, man. I feel like everybody, like I got crazy friends that are going to see that I did this interview. They're going to be like, yo, you talked to KD? That's crazy. You know what I mean? Just like something about you and your personality. And then I'm going to also say your game as well. Like you can't be on there and be cool, but you don't play. You know what I mean? You were out there getting sacks, making plays. So that really resonated with people too. But talk to me about that whole experience, man. You're at Juco. You were 18, 19 years old at that time, I would say, maybe 20. You like 20. Still young, still early in the game, just life, you know. They put a camera on you every day. They're recording everything. Obviously, a lot happened with that show. You know, we don't got to get into everybody else's details, but like for you personally, like what was that experience like? I mean, that's a life-changing experience, but it's also just such a unique experience. You know, what was that opportunity like for you?
Man, that opportunity, the whole experience was crazy, to be real. I'm going to tell y'all something that nobody know behind the scenes of that. When I was at Indy after my first year, they was about to cut me. They called me in the office and told me they was about to cut me. And that was before I was really on the show. Like, after the first season, second season, they was like, man, we about to cut you. Because they put me at linebacker and, like, they put me at linebacker. They put me at linebacker, and they had all these bounce backs from like Michigan and all this and that. And I'm straight out of high school, 185, but I'm hitting hard. I'm always hyped, and I'm just ready to go at any time. So they was like, we're gonna give you one more chance. And they put me at DN by last year. And then that's when the Netflix was like, we're gonna record you this year, man. We serious. And I'm like, whatever, that sounds good. Mm-hmm. Man, the next day they had like all the cameras at my door, and they were just following me everywhere. It was crazy. I don't know. I was just being myself too. I don't know. Everybody talking about it was scripted, but this is who I am.
I mean, that a lot of it is Juco football though too, right? Like we saw a lot of those guys. I mean, Malik Henry, Carlos Thompson, those are some guys that I'm following now. They're having arena football careers, but we saw a lot of guys on there really get real. Marquise, big fan of Marquise. Always thought he was such a talented receiver too. Very, very talented, very fast. But you know, and something interesting about that show is you kind of get like a built-in fan base with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like as all y'all, everybody that's on Last Chance U, as everybody goes to the next level, everybody was always rooting for them. John Franklin, I remember when he was on the Buccaneers, I'm like, yo, he was on Last Chance U. I hope he balls out. I hope he does great. Yeah. So I know that's going to be something that translates for you as well. Another guy at Indy you played with that's in this draft class is Jermaine Johnson. You talked about some of the bounce backs. Very talented DN as well. I mean, he's getting a lot of looks this year, did real well at the Senior Bowl. That performance definitely had him rising in people's drafts. I've seen him going early. Talk to me about his game a little bit. What did you think of him on the field? And then also, like, as a man, as a teammate, just talk to me about Jermaine a little bit.
You talk about Indy?
Yeah.
All right. Jermaine Johnson at Indy, I could say he was always a hard worker. You know, always was willing to get better and trying to find a reason, you feel me, not to be like everybody else. He was always like, he'll separate himself from other people, like from people that don't want work and stuff like that. And I ain't gonna lie to you, he came in from high school. I came in with no offers out of high school. He came in with this big name from high school, had every scholarship. So I came in, I ain't gonna lie, I looked up to him. I was like, damn, you feel me? I want scholarships like that. I want to be like that. So I used to watch his games sometime and stuff like that. I used to watch him, asking some pointers and like what I got to do to be like this. And then next day, you know, we was both chasing a quarterback at the same time, getting back there at the same time.
That's a crazy thing to imagine, being a Juco offensive line out in Kansas, trying to figure out how to stop two future NFL pass rushers and yourself and Jermaine. But then let's look a little bit more at some of your other teammates. Obviously, Jermaine is very well known, getting a lot of looks in the NFL. Who are some guys that you play with that you feel like are underrated, that I might not know about, that I might have never seen, but like as soon as our interview is done, I should go look up their huddle, look up their YouTube. And this can be from high school, Indy, Arkansas State, Pine Bluff, All-Star games, like wherever your mind goes right here. Who are some guys that you think are underrated that should turn on their film?
I'm gonna say McQuillan Scott. He played D tackle at Independence, and another one when I went to Arkansas State. Caleb Bonner. He played linebacker. He in the draft class. Them two in the draft class will be going out this year. Them two is some dogs. Like Caleb Bonner, he's smart. Like I feel like you give him a playbook right now, he'll know it by tomorrow. Like he's smart. He sees things before you see him. And McCoy and Scott, he just a dog. He just blow the middle up. Like ain't nothing running through there. I feel like they're a little underrated.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look those guys up. I like asking that question. Kyer sent me a lot of good guys when we had talked. I talked to Josh Taylor earlier in the year from Mississippi Valley State. He had told us some real good guys as well. So I'm gonna look up those corners, look up those guys in the secondary. But for you personally, man, and this is my last question here. Really appreciate you coming on here on the TSL podcast. What's kind of your mindset like as you're heading in to your first professional season? I was down at Monmouth's Pro Day the other day, and it's something I was talking to some of the guys about. This is a unique offseason. You're getting ready for your pro day. We talked about that earlier, ran a 4.49 yesterday. I know you were working on all the form and stuff. That 40, people think it's just running. It's a lot of technique. It's a lot of form. So I'm sure that's been a big part of your focus. But then you got to keep in the back of your mind, you're a few months away from mini camp, training camp, preseason, all that. I mean, football is right around the corner. So how have you kind of balanced that, and just what's your mindset like as you're getting ready for your first pro opportunity?
At first, to be real with you, my mindset is kind of nervous as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you, because I'm getting teams, hitting me up and stuff like that. But at the same time, this is a whole different process from college, high school, and all that. Because, I'm gonna just tell you, man, it's business. It's a lot of teams that's gonna tell you stuff. You feel me? In the league. It's a lot of teams that's going to tell you, hey, we want you, we want you, we want you. At the same time, you can be telling the next person the same thing. So, with me, I'm just trying to keep my mindset clear. I'm trying to keep me clear, just keep me focused, just keep grinding, and just keep going. And when that opportunity presents itself, trust me, I'll be ready.
Hey, man, I know that just off the film alone. And then I feel like we all have a unique, kind of look into your personality from Last Chance U as well. I feel like I know you a little bit more as a football player as some of these other guys in the draft class. But KD, like I said, man, I really appreciate you for coming on. I feel like this was a great conversation. I know I can speak for myself, Jovan Alford, Nick Earnshaw, everybody at TSL, man. We're all going to be rooting for you at the next level. Anything we can do to help you, any articles, podcasts, anything like that, you already know, man, it's all love. But like I said, man, really appreciate you coming on. Kailon Davis from Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Appreciate you.